Damn. Go.
Alright guys, how's it going? It's EastBayAnglers, and today we're doing something different again. We're going to go ahead and break down another lake. It's actually the same lake, it's Lake Chabot, and we're going to break it down for trout fishermen again. But this time, instead of bank fishing, we're going to talk about trolling Lake Chabot. We're going to talk about specific trolling routes, top 3 trolling routes, in my opinion, in my personal experience on Lake Chabot. Now, trolling for trout at Lake Chabot can be extremely difficult, just like bank fishing at times, if you're not spending a lot of the right time in the right locations with the right bait. Alright guys, so one of the things I want to talk about before we even go into breaking down the lake, the routes, and the trolling routes, what we want to talk about first off is when you rent the boats at Lake Chabot, boat rentals in general. Okay, you're going to get 2 batteries. Now, a lot of times these batteries are not going to be fully charged, or you're going to have one fully charged battery and one battery that's not fully charged. Double check your batteries before you go. Ask for a 3rd battery, which I used to do and would have done for me by Stan, who used to run the bait shop. I'm not sure who owns that marina anymore as far as who runs it and stuff like that. So it's a new person in town as far as who runs that marina. You're going to have to ask them if you can borrow a 3rd battery, because the winds pick up out there. So let's do it. Let's get started. Alright guys, so let's get started. We're going to start with spot location number 1. And if you look at this route that's highlighted in red marker, you're going to notice it goes right by those 2 spots, Catfish Landing and Raccoon Point, and then circles back round and goes on the opposite side of the shoreline. There is an abundance of trout there, and there are a lot of big trout there caught every single year. That is an excellent, phenomenal trolling spot. That is by far my favorite trolling spot on Lake Chabot. If I'm trolling for trout at Lake Chabot, then that's the spot I'm spending most of my time at. Alright guys, so that about covers spot location number 1. We're going to go ahead and move on to spot location number 2, which begins north of Live Oak Island on a point, a slow tapering point. A lot of fish cruise and hold off this point. So that's a great place to start trolling and work your way from that point around and go north all the way through Half Moon Bay. Spot location number 2 is an excellent place to trout fish. Trolling for trout there is consistent. Seems like there's always trout in the area. You're always getting bit. It's definitely a good place to spend a majority of your time if you're trolling for trout at Lake Chabot. Alright guys, so consider that most of the time when these fish move out to location spot number 2 and 3, it's a few months after they've put them in. Alright guys, so when you're at spot location number 3, you're going to cruise right in front of Bass Cove. Alright guys, so when you're fishing spot location number 3, you're going to be trolling along the Bass Cove Trail. About 100 to 150 feet offshore. And you're also going to want to keep in mind that this spot usually turns on a little bit later in the year. So it's going to be a few months after places like Indian Cove and Raccoon Point turn on that you're going to have the Bass Cove area turn on. But there's consistently big trout caught in this area. Numbers are inconsistent at times, and at other times you can catch a bunch of trout. But there's just those days where for some reason Bass Cove pulls in big rainbow trout. So these three locations are all key. They're all important to spend a lot of time trolling if you're fishing at Lake Chabot. One of the other things we really want to talk about, guys, is we want to talk about different baits that we've had success with, that we know people and that they've had success with, versus some of the baits that you're not going to have success with at Lake Chabot. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, some of the baits and the setups that we've had success with at Lake Chabot are Dave Davis flashers with about a 12 to 18 inch monofilament leader. About 8-pound test will do fine. You're going to throw a small size 8 to size 6 single snelled hook on the back. You can thread that with a night crawler. You can throw a needlefish on there. You can also go ahead and use a dodger, and you can use an 8 to 12 inch leader. Same concept. You can use a hoochie. You can use a small needlefish. Those have both worked for us in the past. Another thing that's worked for us is wedding rings. So if you guys have any wedding rings, give those a try. Top lining Castmasters in silver and gold. Never fails. Another bait that works exceptionally well. I've seen people catch a lot of fish on the Super Duper, so keep that one in your tackle box and don't be afraid to tie it on and give it a try sometime at Lake Chabot. Alright guys, so last but not least, let's talk about Rapalas. We're going to talk about Rapalas right now. Rapalas are big at Lake Chabot. Whether you're using countdowns at CD3, CD5, CD7s, or CD9s, whether you're using the floating F7 to F13 or the jointed J7 to J13, it doesn't matter. The color patterns that you want to be using for those baits are chrome belly, blue back, chrome belly, orange back, and the fire tiger. Those are the three color patterns you're going to want to have tied on. Now I've tried a whole bunch, just about every Rapala color, including custom Rapalas that I've tried fishing there, trolling there for trout. And I will say those three colors consistently produce the biggest and the most when it comes to numbers at Lake Chabot. We really hope this helps, guys. We hope this helps put more fish in your boat. We hope this gets you guys some positive results and eliminates a lot of that time spent in areas that really are less productive and not worth your time. Alright guys, so we hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for tuning in. We hope this helps you guys land more fish. Stay tuned for more videos like this.